7. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind Driving Maul, your best place road predictions and opinion. And yes, we're going to go through all of the Mitre 10 Cup games. We'll then also have a look at the Farah Palmer Cup games and then look forward to next weekend's Farah Palmer Cup and Mitre 10 Cup games as well. Tonight, it's a solo show. Stephen is away in Australia, so it's just me, myself, and I. So thank you everyone who's joined us, and let's kick on. This was a weekend of some surprise results. Now, one of the problems this weekend for a lot of us, I think, is going to be just the number of games we watched. I watched a game on Thursday night, Friday night, or 2 on Friday night, 5 on Saturday, and another 4 on Sunday. So it has all been a pretty crazy week. So we kicked off with Canterbury versus Manawatu. And I had Canterbury by 20 in this one. I thought they were going to be comfortable winners. In the end, Manawatu won this one 29-32. But let's be honest, Canterbury didn't help themselves. They dropped the ball when they had a try on. And then Manawatu scrum did a real good job on Canterbury. They managed to get themselves a try, a couple of penalties, and suddenly they were out by 20 points on the half-hour mark. Canterbury did come back in with a try, only to then make an absolute hash of a kick. Lamapi was chasing a lost cause, but the bounce went his way, and he put it down, and suddenly it's 5:25 at half time. I mean, what a amazing what an amazing lead at that point. Canterbury then also had another try, left another try begging. The try line was there. They dropped the ball. And they were also missing conversions. So also coming back into it, they weren't catching up as quickly as they should have done. Canterbury also were helped, though. They'd get a soft try when Manawatu overthrew a line out. But in the end, they just came up short. 29-32, missed conversions and those shelled tries really hurt Canterbury. Fantastic result for Manawatu. Fantastic result for Nick Croswell, who was his 100th cap in this game. And yes, Lamapi, Steve in the chat there, Lamapi had a good game, keeping warm in case there's any injuries that come along. We followed that up with Hawke's Bay versus Taranaki. A bit of a predictable result. Hawke's Bay won this one, but this was really the Fakatava show, wasn't it? In that first half, he was at the heart of everything that was good about Hawke's Bay, and they were out to a 21-7 lead at half time, and they were never going to let Taranaki back into it. They're too good a side for that, and they closed things out. You've got to say that Hawke's Bay are an impressive outfit this season, closing these sort of games out, and they did so again. Ollie Brown says Cotting Cinema was looking pretty good though at the Rugby World Cup. Yep, currently they are both looking good, not injured. But I say if there is an injury, Lamapi is ready to come in. Waikato then faced Tasman, and the scoreline will say, pardon me, it was a 9-point game, but Waikato were very disappointed after this one because they went out to a 23-15 lead at half time, scoring off the back of 2 scrums in that first half. The Waikato also had a disallowed try as well in that first half. Tasman did get a couple of tries. I mean, Havili walked in for one, and Hugh Roach went over after some continued pressure from Tasman. But as I say, at 23-15, it was looking good for Waikato. Come out in the second half, and a Jordan counterattack led to a try that brought it back to a 1-point game. A couple of penalties either way, and it was 26-25 heading into the final quarter. Tasman got the all-important try or points from there on in, a try and a penalty to see themselves home. But yes, another game that Waikato has let go late on. It's not the first one where they've left points, where they've let games disappear or get out of their grasp in the last couple of minutes. And yes, there'll be a very frustrated coaching crew down in the Waikato. And if you want to see some post-match interviews from that, check out the channel. I was at that game. We then went into Southland versus Counties. Now, this is a game, unfortunately, I haven't seen yet, because as I say, there was just so much rugby over the weekend. Saturday, I think it was like 9 games over Saturday and Sunday, plus some other games as well. So earlier in that week. So it's a bit of a crazy weekend, but Southland 40-14 win over Counties Manukau. I don't think definitely nobody saw this one coming. Big congrats. Oh, by the way, go back to Waikato. Congratulations to Wayne Sweeney on his 100th cap as well. It was good to see the FMG Stadium groundsman paint the 10 metre line as the 100 metre line on both sides of halfway in honour of Sweeney's big day. Southland, as I say, 42-14 win over Counties Manukau. Wow. So it's their first win in like 2 years or so or more. Congratulations to the Stags. I've still got to catch up on that one, I'm afraid. Sorry, folks, I can't talk you through that one. But yes, that was an amazing result. Biggest upset of the weekend. And we had some pretty big upsets, to be honest. Manawatu beating Canterbury, who I've already talked about. And then Harbour losing to Otago 15-21. Otago away from home have been pretty poor all season. I was backing North Harbour in this one, but no, they have beaten their Premiership. It's a crossover game, their Premiership rivals in this one. That gives them a lot of confidence heading into a couple of Shield defences that Otago have got coming up against Waikato and against Canterbury. Two sides that lost this weekend. So hey, could Otago hold on to it for the full season? That would be something pretty amazing. Then we had a double header at Eden Park. Auckland lost to Wellington 15-34. Now, that sounds like a pretty convincing Wellington win, but actually it all came down to about 10 minutes in that second half where Wellington just pulled away. But before that and after that, it was a pretty even contest. I mean, it was 15-14 at half-time. And it was just between that 42nd minute and the 52nd minute where Wellington went from 15-17 to 15-27. And that was pretty much it. The game was then gone because Auckland were really having to chase it. They couldn't kick threes. They were having to force things. I mean, they did a crossfield kick in their own 22, for example. So things like that it was just all way too much towards the end. But they lost it, as I say, in that first in that piece. Didn't help themselves. Ben Lamb scoring a try in less than a minute at the very beginning of the game. Then a silly mistake by Clark on the exit let Wellington have possession in their 22. As Steve says, Wes Hewson continues to amaze. He is extremely quick, and he does read. Yeah, he does read the game very well as well. Well, you say future All Black, but hey, he's got some competition ahead of him before he can get there. So Ben Lamb got denied in the corner as well, to be fair. So I mean, there could have been, Wellington could have had another score as well, but that was all after Wellington had already got that lead, and it was that period after just at the beginning of the second half where Auckland switched off, and that was the game was suddenly gone. Final game of the round was Northland 22, Bay of Plenty 46. Another one, sorry, that I didn't get a chance to see, but as you can tell, looking around me, I'm not in my normal studio. I'm up in Auckland doing some decorating at the moment, so yeah, all a bit busy. But yeah, a pretty much expected win there for Bay of Plenty. And let's be honest, Northland are having a real tough time of it this season. And as I've said before, it's pretty much down to their injuries. I know their coaches have a no excuses policy, but when you've got the injuries they've got, it's not surprising they're getting the results they are getting. Having a look at the table, Tasman 7 wins from 7 games, clearly top of the table on 33 points. Wellington now with that win over I've got blank. Auckland get themselves into second on 26 points. So I mean they're still 7 points behind Tasman, I can't see them closing that, but they've got a 6-point lead over Canterbury now, with a good chance of booking themselves a home semi-final. Canterbury third on 20 points, Auckland fourth on 19 points, North Harbour are fifth on 16 points, and then Waikato also in sixth, also on 16 points. All those teams lost this weekend. As did Counties Manukau. Against Southland, they had a great opportunity to close the gap, but they're still 5 points adrift in that relegation position in last, with just one win this season. So yeah, really been a tough season for Counties Manukau. And coming into the championship, Hawke's Bay lead the way, 6 wins and a draw so far on 33 points. So the same number of points as Tasman, interestingly enough. Bay of Plenty in second on 26 points, and then and those two really should book themselves. Looking at the sides well ahead, and really should book themselves a place in this home semi-finals. Otago suddenly are on. So Otago suddenly are in third place on 20 points. Manawatu, they've put 3 wins back to back after 4 losses in the first 4 games. Suddenly they see themselves in fourth on 16 points. Taranaki started with 3 wins, now on 4 losses, have slipped behind Manawatu on 14 points. Southland suddenly see themselves get off bottom place on 7 points, with Northland in last place now on 5 points. So it's interesting how some of these people's seasons have turned around. Let's say Taranaki started out really well, 3 wins. I thought, hey, they're putting themselves in with a good shout of bouncing straight back up. But 4 losses, boom, that's gone. It's going to be very difficult to see it happening now, let's be honest. Manawatu, we're kind of looking around saying, will they get a win all season? Well, just that one against Southland we expect would be the only one. But they've really done well, helped obviously by the return of Laumapi in there. It's interesting how one player or a couple of players can make a big difference. And as I was saying, these squads are pretty shallow, so a bit of an extra piece of quality like that makes a big difference. Having a quick look at the Farah Palmer Cup now, Hawke's Bay beat Taranaki 74-0. Taranaki having another tough season. They were new into the tournament last year. Waikato 21, Bay of Plenty 26. Really good win by Bay of Plenty. I was there for this game. They've got themselves in the lead and basically held off Waikato, even getting a yellow card towards the end. But it wasn't enough for Waikato to get themselves back into this one. Then we had Canterbury beat Manawatu 54-7. Otago beat Tasman 58-15. A couple of big wins there. Auckland beat Wellington 38-10. Again, I was at that one as well. And really, Auckland dominated this one because it was 31-3 with 64 after 64 minutes and 17-3 at half time. Really good performance by Auckland this one. I was at this one again, so I was at both the Waikato game and the Auckland game. So if you'd like to get some, I'll be putting post-match reactions onto YouTube for those games, so look out for those. And then finally, Northland 27, North Harbour 21. Massive congratulations, Northland. That's their first ever win. They're a new team this season. They've won 1, lost 3. Massive congrats. Sorry, 1, lost 2. They've played 3 games and they've got their first ever win. Massive congratulations to them. That's a fantastic result. Tasman, for example, Taranaki joined last year, didn't get a single win, and at the moment they're not looking like getting one this time out either. Looking at the tables then for this one, Canterbury and Auckland, topped the Premiership both on 15 points. Then it's Counties on 12, followed by Wellington on 10, Bay of Plenty on 8, Waikato on 5, and Manawatu on 1. Manawatu's problem is they're just getting bullied by much bigger teams at the moment. They just can't, and they're finding it very difficult. there to compete against that sort of size factor. In the championship, you got Hawke's Bay and Otago both on 15 points with 3 wins and no losses. Those two came second and third behind Wellington last season, so it's no surprise to see them going well again this season. It's a big gap between them and North Harbour, who are on 5 points in third. And in fact, third, fourth, and fifth, North Harbour, Tasman, and Northland are all on 5 points, and then Taranaki in last on just 1 point so far. Looking forward to next week and for the Farah Palmer Cup, Tasman versus Hawke's Bay. Let's say Hawke's Bay and Otago are the 2 top teams in the championship. You'd expect Tasman to win, Hawke's Bay to win that one. Taranaki are visited by Northland, so Northland with a good chance of getting their 2nd win ever, and of 2nd win of the season there. Counties, Manukau, who are in 3rd in the Premiership, host Canterbury, who are in 1st. That is going to be a really interesting encounter. Could go either way. 2 of the top sides in the country. Wellington host Waikato. Now Waikato really could need points if they're going to have any chance of making the playoffs. It's probably unlikely from here, but yes, so that's a double header, as is Tasman's game, by the way. But you expect Wellington to pull away there. Otago versus North Harbour, same, even though it's 2nd versus 3rd. Otago are heavy favourites in that one. Again, another double header. And then Manawatu host Auckland in another double header. And as already said, Manawatu struggle for size. Auckland is going to bully them and win that one, you would have to think. Looking at the Mitre 10 Cup then, Taranaki host Southland. Now, Taranaki on a run of 4 losses. Southland suddenly have a win. Oh, wow, I found this one very difficult to call. I'm going with Taranaki by 3 because, yeah, Southland getting 2 wins back-to-back. Wow, that would be a massive result for them. Tasman hosting Auckland. Well, Tasman haven't lost all season. They're looking very good. Auckland slipped up at the weekend, and you've got to say Tasman by 5 there. Bay of Plenty versus Hawke's Bay. Battle of the Bays. I'm going to be at this one. This one should be an absolute cracker. The 2 top teams in the championship going head-to-head, fighting out for the right to be called the Bay. I'm backing Bay of Plenty by 3. Maybe that's a heart overhead decision. Wellington then host Northland. Wellington by 20. Let's be honest, it's going to be a comfortable win for them, and that should cement Wellington in that 2nd place in the Premiership and getting them and putting them towards that home semi-final. Canterbury then host Counties Manukau. Canterbury in 3rd. Now, if they're going to have any hope of catching Wellington, they're going to have to win this game. Counties clearly in a real tough space at the moment. You've got to say Canterbury by 5 in that one. Otago versus Waikato. This is a Ranfurly Shield game. Now, Otago took the shield off Waikato last year, and there was some very, very loud singing in the changing rooms. Waikato will be absolutely pumped for this one to get this shield back. Otago, though, have been defending the shield very well, and they got the first away win last season. Waikato have not been helping themselves with their discipline and have been coming up short in a few games. So I'm going Waikato by 3, but that's going to be, a very tight game. Finally, Manawatu versus North Harbour. Now, a few weeks ago, I tell you that was an easy North Harbour win. Manawatu, though, are on a run of 3 wins now. They won away to Canterbury. North Harbour visiting will not hold any fear for them. North Harbour in having a bad run of things, 2 wins, 1 draw, and 4 losses this season. I'm going to go for Manawatu here for an upset by 3. So for the games I've chosen by 3, I think there's some real tight games this weekend. It's going to be a real interesting one. So try and catch in the Mitre 10 Cup, the hipsters tournament, as I like to call it. It's not all about the Rugby World Cup at the moment. Thank you, everyone who has joined us in the live chat. As Ollie Brown said, Fakatava versus Triple T would have been fascinating, but players can't play absolutely every single game. So yeah, it's not. They are going to get rested, and they'll generally do it for away games occasionally. So that's probably why Triple T missed out on that one. Thank you very much for joining me. I say I'll be at Battle of the Bays this weekend. Just one game. All the other games are just it's impossible for me to get to any of them, unfortunately. Become a supporter of the channel. Link down below in YouTube to do that and get access to exclusive videos from behind the scenes, and also help me get around all of these games. You can become a supporter as little as $1 a month, or $20 a month if you want to get one of these bucket hats. Apparently they're the new trendy thing in with the All Blacks now wearing bucket hats. Steve Hansen and Kieran Reid have been caught in them recently. So, hey, become a fashionista, join the hipster crowd, and get a DrivingMaul bucket hat.